All right, let's also tell you how President Donald Trump has announced a ceasefire with Iran, claiming a complete victory. But this announcement has done very little to silence the growing calls from the Democrats for his removal. More than 85 Democrat lawmakers have now called for President Trump to be impeached or removed via the 25th Amendment. And most of these calls were triggered by Trump's threat to bomb Iran and end a whole civilization. That's the post he put out yesterday. Lawmakers Sri Thanedar and Jasmine Crockett sent letters to Vice President J.D. Vance and the cabinet asking to remove Trump by invoking the 25th Amendment to the Constitution. Representative John Larson, on the other hand, introduced articles of impeachment against Trump. However, just before the end of the deadline to act on his threat, Donald Trump announced the two-week truce with Iran. But several House Democrats made clear their calls for Trump's removal still stand despite disagreement. But minutes after Trump's announcement, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez renewed her calls for Trump to be impeached, saying that the Republican president's announcement on a temporary ceasefire changes nothing. She's claimed that President has threatened a genocide and that he must be removed from office, whether by his cabinet or the Congress. Others echoed her sentiments as well. Lawmakers Melanie Stansberry wrote, and I quote, "Just because the president announces he's agreed to a two-week ceasefire moments before he threatened to commit war crimes does not mean he's suddenly fit to serve." Senator Ed Markey, meanwhile, welcomed the ceasefire but added that Trump cannot simply threaten war crimes. He urged the Congress to get back in session now to stop this war and remove Donald Trump. Now, Section 4 of the 25th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, remember, can be used to remove a president. But to initiate this, Vice President J.D. Vance and a majority of the cabinet must declare the president as unfit to discharge his duties. If the president contests this removal, the Congress must decide the issue, requiring a two-thirds vote in both the House and the Senate. Democrats lack the support, but their attack is an attempt to strike a chord with the public ahead of the midterms in November this year.